joining us, we have John Bond, and he is from Art Mart here in the High Country. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, start by telling our viewers a little bit about Art Mart and kind of how it got started.
Well, it's an art store that was opened in 1975, and it's had a couple different owners. I took it over in 2000 and implemented the academy side of it, where we teach kids from age 6 on up to kids 106.
Wow, okay. So really anyone who wants to come and learn how to be an artist.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, what kind of led you to decide to buy an art store and then add this academy side? This sounds great.
Well, I have a teaching degree from Appalachian State and was thinking about opening up a teaching academy, and at that time the Art Mart came up for sale, and I knew I would have to have some retail, some source of materials to teach with, and it just seemed like a good fit, so we purchased the store in 2000.
Fantastic. Now, can you kind of talk with us a little bit about how you've seen it grow and change since then?
Well, we've grown the inventory by leaps and bounds at our old location, which was over on Boone Heights Drive. We just recently moved it to the new location on King Street, right across the street from the post office. And so right now our inventory is going under a little bit of a change to accommodate the new space and the new clientele we're getting. But we have anything you want to use to paint, sculpt. We have some of the widest breadth of art materials in the High Country, and hopefully if you need something we'll have it, and if not we can order it for you.
Fantastic. So talk with us a little bit about the academy and how that all works.
Well, we have classes that range from age 6 all the way up through adult. For the kids classes we start with the Art 1 program, and we run 5 weeks on and a couple weeks off, and then throughout the year, and we'll have a summer camps in the spring, starting once public schools end. And then we graduate those kids into Art 2 at about age 11 to 12 or so, sometimes 10. And then we have a teen seminar as well, which gets a little bit more individually directed and more concentrated on the student and where they want to grow their own artwork.
So is there a certain kind of art that you do with each individual group, such as like paints, oils?
Well, with the kids classes we work in acrylic paints, watercolors, gouache, color pencils, graphite, sculptural, clay, etc. And with the adult classes it's highly individual. If you want to learn how to paint portraiture in oils, that's what you'd work on. If you wanted to do landscapes in acrylics or graphite, that's what you'd work on. So we have a class that might be full of 4 to 8 adult students, but each one is working on their own individual project. Occasionally we'll huddle up and talk about a problem that's could be beneficial to everybody to learn about, and then we go back to our own individual projects.
Okay. So you do a little bit of a variety of things.
Yeah, almost everything.
That's neat. Now, how do you start with a student who comes in and no matter what age they are, they're a beginner and they really know nothing about how to paint or do any kind of art? How do you start with them?
A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Try to figure out where they are, figure out what they love about art, what their aesthetics are, and then we just try to get a game plan together and go from there and try to go forward with them. Try to teach them not necessarily from above, but to give them stepping stones that they can take and a variety of options, and they can choose their own path.
Interesting. So that way it kind of gives them a chance to kind of learn what they want to learn and understand.
Yes.
Very cool. Now, can you talk with us a little bit about your background in art?
Well, I graduated from Appalachian in 1992, a long time ago, with an art education degree, and I taught in Pennsylvania for 2 years, and then went out to Colorado and furthered my degree in art, and I got the boomerang in 1997, came back, hammered some nails for a living for a couple more years, and bought the store in 2000 and been teaching there ever since. And I've done a couple guest teaching with the Michael Patricelli craft enrichment program at the university, and offer seminars from time to time. I'll go off the mountain and speak with groups.
Very nice.
Now, is teaching art a difficult thing to do? Are there a set of rules that you kind of go by, or is it more abstract?
I tell people you might want to learn the rules so you can break them better.
Okay.
There's definitely no game plan, I don't believe. Each person is individual. The art has to be individual, or else there's no purpose in doing it. So we try to really cater to each student and bring them along as best we can to help them fulfill their own vision.
Absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the store. What all do you guys have?
We have about everything you need to make art. If you want to paint, draw, sculpt, we'll have the materials for you. There is a great deal of diversity and awful lot of ways of solving problems. So when somebody comes into our store, we try to ask them what their project is, what they're trying to get out of it, and give them options, again, just the way we teach, to solve their problems. And make sure they go out of the store with the appropriate materials.
Right, so that when they come in to take their class, they can buy all their supplies right there in the store.
Yeah. And we offer our students 20% off, and ASU and Lees McRae, any college students and teachers, public schools and university teachers, 10% off.
Very nice. That's always helpful when they need supplies and
Absolutely.
everything. So very nice.
Now, any best-selling items in the store, things that are really popular for artists to use?
Petting the dog.
So there's a dog at the store.
There's actually
Perfect.
two. We have Da Vinci, who's been with us for 13 years, and Ziggy is our new dog. He's been with us about 2.5 years.
Oh.
And everybody wants to know what kind of paint Ziggy gets in because he's all spotted. But as far as the most commonly used, we sell a lot of canvas,
Okay.
a lot of brushes, drafting equipment, you name it. It's a really large inventory, and it's some days all of a sudden the clay sells, and other days it's all about coloring books. So it really depends.
Very neat. Now, what can you say about creating art? I imagine it's something that has to require a lot of creative flow, and it must be very therapeutic in a lot of ways. What can you say about that?
Each person is different. The one true thing I've found is, and many famous artists have been quoted as saying some version of this, but it's basically inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. You have to play with the materials. You have to explore what they can give you and then use them to your advantage. You're not going to create a great piece of artwork by just thinking about it. So you have to get in there and get your hands dirty and have fun.
What if someone like me, because I am not talented at all when it comes to drawing and things, and I want to learn this, what is the first step that you would tell me?
Draw from life.
Okay.
Set something up on a table, try to limit your light source, and look for the light and shadow. That's the one common denominator through most fairly realistic art. If you don't have light, you can't see it, so you can't draw it or paint it. So
Right.
set up a single light source, look for the light and shadow, and go from there. One of my favorite quotes is, if you can't draw something, just draw it.
Gotcha.
Keep drawing it.
Well, is it hard to get it to where people can actually understand what it is? I have a problem with that.
Telling exactly what it is.
No, I think just exploring it and really looking at the object and drawing what you see and not what you think you know about a subject. That's the issue there. Sometimes folks will start to draw the flowers on the table and they'll look at them and then just draw. And they never look back at the information. The information's there, it's not in your head.
Right.
So drawing what you see and not what you think you know is a key.
So there is a chance that I can get away from stick figures.
Yes, but they are people too.
They are.
That's right. Well, tell us where you're located and what your hours are.
We just moved to King Street, right
Okay.
across the street from the post office downtown. It's 681 West King Street, and our hours right now are 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, and on the weekends during the winter we're open 12 to 5, and then back in the spring and summer, fall, we'll be back open 7 days a week from 9 to 6.
Perfect.
Fantastic. And if someone is interested in coming to take classes, do they need to call ahead of time or just show up?
It does help to call ahead of time. I can, we have a little discussion about what class they'd like to attend, and but we have adult classes year-round and the kids' classes. I usually put out an email so you can contact us through the email.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like a great resource here in the High Country, and thank you so much for coming in to talk with us about it.
Thanks very much for having me.
Of
Appreciate
course.
it.
And we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.